Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. Today we're going to be doing my April plan with me. So for materials today, I'm primarily going to be using my Micron pens and some Crayola colored pencils that I have here. I do pull out a couple of additional things further along in some of the next following pages, but these are the primary tools that I'm going to be using today. So here is my title page. This month I decided to go with a book theme. It is Library Appreciation Month, and I had all sorts of library content planned for this month. But with all the libraries being closed, I don't think I'm going to be able to do a lot of the content that I had planned. But I still thought that I would do a book theme for the month to kind of celebrate Library Appreciation Month. So that's kind of going to be my theme throughout the entire month's spreads. So for this first page, I just drew a big bookshelf and put all sorts of little fun things in it. I'm going through with my Micron pen and outlining all of it, but then I'm going to be coloring it all in with colored pencil. As I normally do, I sketch this all out in pencil and then I'm just going to go over it in pen as I go throughout. So yeah, I'm really bummed that I'm not going to be able to do a lot of the content that I had planned this month, but it is what it is. I'm sure I will come up with other things to do throughout the month. I've been pretty busy with all of my kids and just kind of maintaining the house with everybody being home full time and all of that. So yeah, it's been an adventure. But yeah, so anyway, like I said, for this first page, it's just a big old bookshelf with all sorts of little fun things, and I really love the way that it turned out. I know last month I said I thought I was gonna kind of put the whole colored pencil thing on hold for a while, but I decided to go ahead and use them again this month just because I kind of wanted that softer look throughout all of the spreads and just the coloring in. I didn't want it to be as quite as bold as some of my other ones where I just kind of wanted the muted colors, so that's why I decided to go ahead and continue to use those colored pencils. So anyway, I will turn it over to a little bit of music for the time being until we move on to the next page. All right, so moving on to the next page, that was definitely the most detailed page out of any of these. It definitely took the longest amount of time just to color the whole thing in. But moving on to the next one, I figured I would do like a bulletin board like you would see at the front of your library or something along those lines. And this is where I'm just going to put my list of videos I want to make throughout the month, books I want to read through the month, and then pictures I want to take for Instagram throughout the month. So this is just kind of little postings that I put up, and then I went ahead and colored it in like a cork board. I did want to also mention that if you see fluctuations in lighting and shadows popping up here and there, it is my children running around me as I'm trying to do this. So, like I said, life has just been a little bit different lately, and that means that there are kids around at all times. And things that I used to do while they were in school, I'm now having to do with all of them running around. So that would be why the light would be fluctuating or things would be shifting around, things like that. So yeah, just bear with me for the time being and those aspects of the video. But anyway, and then yeah, I just colored all of this in with colored pencil, and I really like the way that it ended up turning out in the end. All right, and then we're moving on to my next page, and this is going to be my posting schedule calendar for the month. I saw this spread on Pinterest, and I will link a inspiration photo down below in the description box. But this was kind of fun to put together and try to figure out how to do this and calculate it all. It was a little difficult, but it was kind of fun. But yeah, so it just kind of looks like an open book, and each page I will write vertically on it which videos I'm posting for each day of the month, and this will just be the way that I track what I'm posting throughout the month on my YouTube channel and also on Instagram as well. So definitely had to pull the ruler out for this one with all the lines and all of that, but ended up just kind of outlining all of this with my Micron pen. And then I pulled out some of my Flair pens to do the lettering with, and then a brush pen to color in the book, the edges of the book with. But I normally wouldn't color with brush pens because it ruins them. But these brush pens I have had for a really long time, and my kids have played with them, and they are trash anyway. So I've just kind of been using them to color things in when I need to, just to kind of use them up. They're not my nice brush pens that I do my brush lettering with, so I don't really mind that as much. And then for the bottom of the pages, I just put the page numbers, and that will be the dates. So there are 30 days in April, and so I put 30 pages in my book, and I numbered all the pages so that I can keep track of what I'm posting each day. And I absolutely love the way that this ended up turning out. All right, and we're moving on to my growing TBR list. I just did a book stack. This was harder to draw than I thought it would be. It took me quite a while to get this figured out. So I'm definitely glad I sketched this out before I wrote it in pen or drew it in pen. But I'm actually going to start at the bottom instead of the top, which I normally do when I'm putting these in. And I figured I would just write the book titles and who I got the recommendation from on the spine of each book. And as my TBR grows, so will my book stack. So I actually colored all of these in right away. I'm not going to color them in as I add them, but I colored them all in with colored pencil, and I'll just add the titles as I go, and hopefully I don't have more than 13 or 14 because I think that's all the books that I drew. So I'm limiting myself to how many books I can add to my TBR this month for sure. All right, and then we're moving on to my reading log, which I just made out of a library card, or made into a library card, I guess I should say. So I used some of my fine liners to draw the lines and stuff. This is where I started pulling out some of my other pens. And then I pulled out my black Flair pen to do the lettering with. But I absolutely love this reading log. I actually might pull this back out again if I need to just fill in a reading log like randomly, because I love the layout of this and the lettering and all of it. I'm very, very pleased with the way that it ended up turning out. Very simple. So, and then the last page that we have is my stats page. This is not probably my favorite stats page I've ever done, but it does the trick. It gets the job done. So I made each of my little categories into a book, and then on the spine of the book, I put the name of the category of the stat that I was trying to collect. And then on the front, I will keep track of my actual number of books read. So I have a book for the source, I have a book for my ratings, I have a book for if it's a graphic novel or not, I have a book for the age range and the format, and then a genre. And just like my past few stats pages, my genre I am leaving blank, and I will fill that in as I figure out which genres of books I'm reading throughout the month. But the other ones, I will fill in on the front what stats I'm wanting to collect for each of those categories. All right, and then the last thing I needed to do was do my little doodle on my 2020 title page. I just did a little mini book stack, really quick little 4-book stack, and colored it in, and yeah, not too complicated. Although, like I said before, the book stacks are harder to draw than you would think. I don't know why, but those just were a little bit tricky for me. And I'm sorry about the camera floating around right there. I don't know what was going on, but that is all of it. So for a last final flip through, there's my 2020 title page, and then my April title page, and my kind of list page, my posting schedule. I might change the color of the book from gray to something a little bit darker just to balance it out a little bit, but that's for another time. I have my growing TBR list and my reading log. I love the way that these pages ended up turning out. This is just, I'm really pleased with it. And then my stats page, which is fine. Not my favorite, but it's fine. And that's it. Those are all of my spreads for April. I hope that you enjoyed watching this. I'd love to hear your comments down below. And other than that, I hope that, you enjoyed this and that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.